If your spider plant looks thin, sad, and nothing like the overflowing green waterfall you see in other people's homes, the problem is not the plant. Today I am going to show you 5 hidden tricks that most gardeners never talk about, and these are exactly what your spider plant needs to transform into that full, cascading, fountain-like display you have been trying to achieve. The best part? You do not need a rare variety, expensive fertilizer, or a greenhouse. Everything you need is already within reach. And stay with me until trick number 4, because that one single change is what actually triggers the fountain-like cascading effect most people spend years waiting for. Most people never figure it out. Here is exactly what to change. Let's go through all 5. Number 1. Choose a narrow-mouthed pot. Most people grab whatever pot looks nice and call it a day. But the shape of your pot is actually doing a lot of invisible work. Spider plants grow long, arching leaves that naturally want to fall downward. A pot with a narrow opening gives those leaves only one place to go over the edge. That's where the magic happens. Make sure the base of the pot is slightly wider than the root ball so the roots have room to breathe and anchor. As the plant matures, new growth will arc outward automatically, and over time, the whole thing starts to look like water spilling over a fountain edge. This one change alone can completely transform how the plant presents itself. One important note, spider plants actually bloom and produce those baby plantlets called spiderettes more readily when their roots are slightly snug, so don't size up too fast. A pot that's just slightly larger than the root ball is the sweet spot. Number 2, plant several together in one pot. Here's something nobody tells you when you first get a spider plant. A single young plant can look thin and underwhelming for 1 to 2 years before it really fills out and starts producing spiderettes. That's just how the plant grows. But there's a shortcut. Take 3 to 5 small spider plants and plant them together around the edges of one wider pot, angled slightly outward. Each plant has its own set of arching leaves, and together they create instant density. The combined foliage spills over the rim like a single impressively mature specimen, even when all the plants are young. To keep them healthy and growing strong, feed them with a balanced fertilizer diluted to half strength once a month during the growing season. And if any leaves start growing toward the center and crowding out the others, trim those back to keep the airflow open and the shape clean. Number 3, tilt the pot. This one surprises people every time. Gravity is one of the most underused styling tools in gardening, and all you have to do is use it intentionally. Once your spider plant's leaves reach about 10 to 12 inches long, prop one side of the pot up slightly a small stone, a folded piece of wood, anything that creates a gentle tilt. The foliage will naturally follow gravity and cascade in that direction, creating a graceful sideways drape that looks completely intentional and sculptural. The key is to rotate the pot regularly every week or two so that all sides of the plant get equal light and the foliage stays full rather than growing heavy and lopsided on just one side. Also make sure your drainage hole is positioned where water can actually drain out freely, especially when the pot is tilted. Root rot is the silent killer of spider plants, and stagnant water at the base is usually the cause. Number 4. Train the spiderettes. When your spider plant matures, it sends out long, thin stems with tiny plantlets dangling at the end. These are the spiderettes, and most people either leave them hanging randomly or clip them off without realizing there's a much smarter third option. You can actively guide these stems using small hooks, soft ties, or a simple trellis. Train them downward in a deliberate arc, and the plant takes on a layered, almost sculptural quality, multiple tiers of foliage flowing in the same direction, like a green waterfall. If you prefer a cleaner look and want to propagate, wait until each spiderette has at least 5 leaves that are around 2 to 3 inches long. That's when the plant is mature enough to root successfully on its own. You can place it in a small glass of water or press it directly into moist soil. Within a few weeks, you'll have a brand new plant ready to grow or to give away. Number 5. Elevate the pot. This is the simplest trick on the list, and it might be the most effective. When a spider plant sits on the floor or on a low shelf, Its leaves touch the surface and stop. There's nowhere for them to go. But the moment you lift the plant up on a pedestal, a tall shelf, a wall hook, or a macrame hanger, those leaves suddenly have open air beneath them. And they fall freely, naturally, dramatically. Spider plants also benefit enormously from the improved air circulation that comes with being hung or elevated. Better airflow means fewer fungal issues, stronger stems. And this is the part most people don't know: curlier, more textured foliage. The slight stress of gentle air movement actually encourages the plant to grow thicker and more resilient leaves over time. Position it near a window with bright indirect light. Spider plants can tolerate lower light, but they won't produce as many spiderettes, and the leaf color stays duller. Bright indirect light is where they truly come alive: vivid green and white variegation, active growth, and a constant supply of new spiderettes cascading downward. 5 tricks. 1 plant. A completely different result. The best. You don't need anything exotic. No rare variety, no special product, no greenhouse. Just a narrow pot, a few companion plants, a slight tilt, some guided spiderettes, and a better spot in your home. Your spider plant is already capable of looking stunning. Now you know exactly how to help it get there.